To John Longworth, who's co-chair Leave Means Leave. What does that mean? Because there does seem now to be utter confusion as to what Brexit is.
Brexit is Brexit, as the Prime Minister said so often. You know, she put it in the manifesto, she had her red lines.
Well, are you convinced that after Friday she means Brexit
No,
is...
I'm not convinced at all. But the fact of the matter is the Prime Minister defined what Brexit was from the very beginning. It's what people voted for, to say about control of laws, borders and money. And what she has now done is break her own promises and break the Tory manifesto. So she's actually committed a fraud on the electorate, effectively.
So what should happen now?
Well, what should happen now is that Conservative MPs should come to their senses and realise that the electorate will punish them very badly for breaking their Brexit promises. And what they should do now is to say to the European Union what they should have said right at the very beginning, which is that we will move to WTO global trade terms in March next year, and if the EU want a trade arrangement, our door is open to discuss it. And that trade arrangement should be something like the Canada-style deal. The fact of the matter is, if we do that, it will give absolute certainty to business about what's happening next. We'll have a £39 billion war chest to deal with any disruption if in fact the EU don't sign a trade deal, and we will have fulfilled our Brexit promise to the British electorate and have the freedom to trade the world, to cut tariffs and cut the cost of living for ordinary people, to repatriate our net contribution, to produce sensible regulations in that Parliament there, the British Parliament, rather than in Brussels.
So crash out?
Well, you can call it crashing out, but we're prepared for it. There'll be a short period of disruption. We can make it very attractive for business using the £39 billion, and we'll end up with a situation where the UK is in a much better economic situation.
You know about business in your previous life. What is it that politicians know about how Jaguar Land Rover works that Jaguar Land Rover don't know? What is it that politicians know about Siemens that the bosses of Siemens don't seem to know? They need some sort of certainty. They are saying if we don't get that, jobs and other parts of their business are going to leave this country.
Well, look, 8% of UK businesses export to the EU. Just 8%. 13% of the economy is associated with the exports to the EU. 87% is not. And that 87% is dragged back by the EU itself. And what we've got is the tail wagging the dog.
But you said 87% is happening whilst we're in the EU. It's still a success.
But it would be a bigger success outside the EU, and it would compensate for any drawback for the 13%. And all the people you just mentioned, by the way, the CEO of Jaguar Land Rover, the CEO of BMW, the CEO of Airbus, all these people who are doing Project Fiat are all Germans. And the Prime Minister went to see the German Chancellor on Thursday before she even showed her own cabinet the white paper she was producing. They would say that, wouldn't they? Because it's in their national interests.
Does she survive this?
Well, who knows whether she'll survive this. Certainly I think Parliament should vote this down if it's not substantially changed. The EU itself will probably reject it, or at least they will ask for even more concessions. And that would be a disaster for the UK, and a disaster for the British electorate, and disaster for British democracy. It would show that our establishment's not much better than the Russians.
John Longworth, thank you very much for joining us.